Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. The date is January 30th, 2020, and on this day exactly 10 years ago, I sat down in front of my computer and created this YouTube channel. And here we are, 1 decade later, with almost 50,000 subscribers and almost 12 million video views. Now, those are some huge numbers, and I can't thank you all enough for making this possible. 1 decade, 10 whole years of doing tech videos. Man, that is a big milestone. And to celebrate, I wanted to do something a little special. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to be discussing the history of not Windows or macOS or some other operating system, but the history of this channel. I'll be going back through some of my older videos and discussing some important dates and highlights and that sort of thing. And also telling you what even got me started on YouTube in the first place. But before I can really talk about the history of this channel, I want to take you back to my pre-YouTube days, because I actually started making videos long before I opened my channel. It all began in the mid-2000s, when my dad purchased an old Sharp ViewCam off of eBay. This was very similar to the camera that he used to record many of our home videos. I vividly remember being at a local park in my hometown one day when he brought the camera to try it out, the one he had purchased from eBay. It was on that day that he let me use the camera for the very first time. I remember being fascinated with it. If I remember correctly, my dad gave me that camera on that day, and thus began a hobby that would eventually encapsulate most of my life. I started messing around with my new camera whenever I could, mainly after school. This camera took 8mm tapes, and actually did not have a working battery. So naturally, I had to be close to a wall outlet whenever I wanted to film something. But I didn't care at all. I just thought it was amazing to have my own camera to make videos with. And believe me, I shot a lot of videos. Me and my brother began to create our own home movies. It started out with very basic videos, but eventually we got a bit more creative with this whole thing. We would come up with actual storylines for these videos. Like I said, we didn't know a single thing about video editing, so everything like voiceovers, music, sound effects, and even visual effects had to be made up on the fly. I would have my laptop with me to play music and sound effects in the background when we needed them. Since we did not ever edit these videos, we never transferred them over to a computer to upload them to YouTube or anything like that. Soon after though, I began to take an interest in video editing. This happened after I began to watch some home movies that my grandfather created of some of our family vacations. One day he showed me how to use this amazing program called Windows Movie Maker and told me that it was already on my computer at home. I vividly remember saying to myself, oh, this must be what they use to make movies, like actual Hollywood movies. Needless to say, I was wrong. But my grandfather began to show me how he made his home movies, how to splice clips together and add titles, transitions, sound effects, and music. All the basic things that you could do in a video editor. And yeah, I know what you're saying, Windows Movie Maker, but keep in mind, this was the first time I ever saw a video editor. Looking back, it's easy to see how basic of a program Movie Maker is, but at the time, I was amazed. Like, the thought of making my own videos, adding my own clips and transitions and building something for other people to see, I guess it inspired me in a way. So I started using Movie Maker at home. At first I created basic slideshows with some text annotations, and I think I may have even added audio narration to some of them. At the time I was also really getting into older computers. I would spend hours on the web teaching myself about the history of Windows and macOS and other older computers. This was typically the main subject of these slideshow videos I made with Movie Maker. It was around that time when I got an unexpected gift from my grandparents. It was a new camera, a JVC Mini DV camcorder. And as you can probably imagine, I was very excited. My grandfather told me that I could record videos with this camera and then copy them over to my computer to edit using this thing called a FireWire cable. And that's exactly what I did. I started taking my new camera with me on family vacations and would later edit the footage into a movie, just like my grandfather did. But another important event happened around that time, which would ultimately change my life forever. And that occurred on January 30th, 2010, when I signed up for a YouTube account. I signed up for the account for a couple of reasons. I knew that I wanted to upload some of my videos, but I also wanted to comment on some other people's content. You see, I had been watching YouTube for years prior to creating my account, and I guess I just did not have a reason to actually create an account because all I did was watch videos. Naturally, I watched a lot of tech-related channels. Some of them are still around today. These included Matt's Macintosh, or Matthew Pierce as he's known today, Tweeterman287, Duncan33303, or Austin Evans as he's known now, and It's Me Morpheus. Rest in peace, man. I figured out that you could subscribe to people to get notified about new uploads, and I also wanted to comment on these videos to talk to other people and enter giveaways. 2 months after creating my channel on March 6, 2010, I uploaded my first video. It's still on the channel right now, and it's one of those slideshow-like videos that I mentioned before. It's basically a compilation of Windows startup and shutdown sounds from version 1.01 to 7. Definitely not my most creative work, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. Around this time, I also really got into vintage Apple computers. I had done a lot of research about the history of Microsoft and Apple, and something about some of these older Apple machines just really fascinated me. I'm sure that it had something to do with the fact that I grew up using Windows and never even really knew about Apple computers. I also got into trying older Windows operating systems in virtual machines, and eventually discovered Linux. When I learned that you could get free physical CDs of Ubuntu, I ordered a few of them from Canonical's now defunct ShipIt service. When they arrived, I naturally recorded a video of me unboxing them. This video is now unlisted, but it was the second video I ever uploaded to my channel. My third video was the first one to be semi-successful. It was an unboxing video of a vintage Apple computer that I purchased since I got into collecting Apple computers around this time. I remember being inspired by Matt's Macintosh to start an Apple collection, and was actually able to track down a Power Mac G4 Cube from one of my relatives who didn't need it anymore and was glad to give it to me. I messed around with this computer for a while and then came across an ad on Craigslist for an iBook G3 clamshell, which I ended up purchasing for $100. This computer came with all of the original accessories and even the original box, all of which were in very great condition. I believe that I was one of the few, if not the only person, to upload a video of a G3 clamshell unboxing with the original box, which is why I think the video got more views than my previous two. There was a point in that video where I sat the camera down as I was unboxing the accessories, and you could see my Power Mac G4 Cube sitting on the floor in the background. I started to receive a few comments about it and figured that I would make a video on it. I didn't have a tripod at the time, so I found a bunch of boxes to set the camera on while I recorded the screen. I should also mention that at this time, I didn't really take YouTube as seriously as I do now, so I didn't really have an upload schedule or anything like that. I just uploaded videos whenever I had the time, sometimes having a couple months pass in between these videos. I did some unboxings, older computer reviews, and even tech news announcements. All of these things were tech related, but I also branched out into gaming a little bit, uploading videos like the Wii Fit Plus tote bag unboxing and the Mario 25th DSi announcement. I colloquially called this time period of my channel Season 1, which ended when I uploaded my Steve Jobs tribute on November 2nd, 2011. I then lost interest in YouTube for a little while. My next video would not be uploaded until 8 months later in July of 2012. This was, and still is, the longest gap between two videos in the entire history of this channel. It marked a new time period for me as well, which I'm dubbing the Minecraft days. Yes, I got into Minecraft along with some of my friends, and actually rebranded my channel as a gaming channel, as you can see from this screenshot here. The video I made titled Update for What's Been Going On was essentially an announcement that I was going to be making Minecraft videos. However, I did say that I wasn't abandoning tech videos entirely. I made 3 more Minecraft related videos that month, and then returned back to making tech videos in August of 2012 when I uploaded my first Windows Beta build related video. This one was on Whistler build 2419. I then started to make more tech videos throughout 2012 and 2013, but didn't give up on gaming entirely. I would still occasionally upload Minecraft videos, and even started a few Let's Plays of games like Guns of Icarus, Gone Home, and Portal 2. I also started a Tech-It Let's Play with some of my friends. I was very proud of those videos at the time, and still am in some ways, as I put a lot of effort into their production value, adding things like a title sequence, proper transitions and sound effects, and some fun little video skits here and there. Me and my friend HD Pixel started a short-lived tech video podcast called The Week of Tech Show around that time as well, and eventually in January of 2014, I finally reached 100 subscribers. Yes, it took me 4 years to reach 100 subscribers, but keep in mind that I was not on a proper schedule, so my videos were uploaded very sporadically. I gradually started to go on a weekly upload schedule with the Tech It videos and decided to commit to it, announcing in my 100 subscriber special that I was going to upload 1 video per week every week. And for the most part, I kept to this schedule, even having pre-recorded videos go up when I would travel to visit family for the holidays. 1 year later, in January of 2015, I quintupled my subscriber count, reaching 500 subscribers. At this time, I was back to making tech videos exclusively for the most part, although I did create a couple of game console retrospectives in a series which I dubbed Time Travel. This series took an in-depth look at old technology. Most of the videos I did were not entirely scripted, with the exception of the Windows XP end of support video that I did in April of 2014. I continued this style with the Dreamcast video, and eventually 2 more on the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 2. Out of all of those, the Super Nintendo video is the one that I am most proud of. My next major subscriber milestone was just 5 months later in June of 2015. The channel's subscriber count doubled in just 5 months, surpassing 1,000 subscribers. In that subscriber special, I launched my new website, teammjd.com, and started using the hashtag TeamMJD, which was actually coined by a subscriber, Linux Guide on the Air. I did a live stream of the Windows 10 launch, which although it wasn't my first live stream, it was the most viewed one. I also got a new camera and a new phone, which I did a couple of videos about. Towards the end of the year, I uploaded a video on North Korea's state-created operating system, which actually got picked up by a few major news websites, including Business Insider. The channel reached 5,000 subscribers in July of 2016, quintupling once again in just over a year. For this milestone, I let my viewers decide what I should do, and created a poll with the most popular suggestions. The video idea that won? Upgrading from Windows 1.0 to Windows 10, which I uploaded in August. Around that time, I started the unofficial Windows series, did some Wii homebrew tutorials, and acquired the famous $5 Windows 98 PC. By the time 2017 rolled around, I had close to 8,000 subscribers and 2 million video views. For my 7th year anniversary, I launched my forum site, osforums.net, as a new way for the community to talk about operating systems, computer software, and just tech in general. The site is actually still up, but it's not as active as it once was. We also had some tech milestones that year as well. Windows Vista reached its end of support, and Windows 95 celebrated its 22nd birthday. Naturally, I made videos on both of these topics. For the Windows 95 one, I decided to make a development history video, which I had already done on both Vista and XP previously. I also built a new computer that year, which I still use to this day. At the start of 2018, my channel had almost 13,000 subscribers and 3 million video views, which I made a video about celebrating. I also committed to making 2 videos per week instead of just 1, although I never said anything publicly about this. I was able to keep up with my commitment for the first half of the year. Towards the second half, I had a few weeks where I uploaded 1 video instead of 2. 2018 was also a huge year for my channel in terms of growth. I also made it a goal of mine to create more documentary-style videos, starting with the iMac G3 retrospective in April. I followed that one up 3 months later when I made a retrospective on macOS 10. After that, I created a mini documentary discussing how Internet Explorer became Apple's default browser in the 90s. All of these videos did fairly well, with the Internet Explorer video being at over 80,000 views. I also collaborated with my friends over at the Computer Clan on their Vintage Apple Vault series, being featured in the pilot episode on the iBook G3 clamshell. The most successful video that year was hands down the Windows Refund Day video. This one documented a series of protests that were put on by Linux users against Microsoft in 1999 over their inability to get a refund for their unused licenses of Windows 98. That video surpassed 100,000 views in just 48 hours, was posted on a few subreddits where it got over 1,000 upvotes, and is now the most popular video on my channel at over 600,000 views. Wow. We started out 2019 with almost 30,000 subscribers. I continued to make documentary style videos every so often, the first one being on the Wii Shop channel's closure. I also did my first ever giveaway and accepted my first sponsorship deal with Skillshare. 2019 has been hands down the best year in my entire YouTube career. The channel almost doubled in size, starting off 2020 with almost 50,000 subscribers. But I also expanded in a couple of other ways. Like I mentioned, I began taking sponsorship deals for the first time, which enabled me to diversify my income from YouTube. I started purchasing more things specifically to do videos on, and also accepted a couple of generous donations from some of you guys. And that brings us to the present day. Like I said, right now, today, we are celebrating this channel being around for 10 years, which is an amazing milestone. I hope you all enjoyed this retrospective look back at my YouTube career up until this point. Overall, what I want to say is thank you. Thank you for watching, thank you for rating, commenting, subscribing, sharing all of the things that you guys do to make this a reality for me. What started a decade ago as a humble little side hobby has now turned into something much more. One thing I can confidently say is that no matter what, I will always be committed to making videos for this channel because, well, it's something that I've always done. And that's because I'm passionate about this. I love to create videos about tech. That's what inspired me to pick up that camera for the first time over a decade ago, and it's still what inspires me every day. So here's to another decade. Let's make 2020 our best year yet. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to those who have been here since the very beginning, and thank you to those who just started watching me a few days ago. I can't thank you all enough for what you enable me to do, and I can't wait to make more videos for you in 2020. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.